My next guest will be taking on Jimi Natividad on March the 8th in the co-main event of CFFC 130, and is the Candyman himself, Max Quinones, on the show. Max, how are you?
I'm doing great, brother, man. How you holding up?
I'm good. I'm good. And I first got to start with the nickname. This is my first time interviewing you. I love the nickname. That is phenomenal. So just tell me how it came about, how it originated.
So it ended up being from high school, actually. So I would carry my wrestling duffel bag in one hand, and I had another duffel bag just filled with Mars, candy bars, Skittles, a whole bit. Hopefully, I don't get in trouble for copyrights or nothing like that. But I used to sell that throughout school. I used to start off with one little box that my mom told me, "Hey, look, this is the last $20 I'm giving you for a movie." And instead of going to that movie that night, I went to the Walmart, started with one box, then ended up knowing someone who worked at the BJ's wholesale club. I'm not sure if you guys have that where you're at, but it's like a Costco kind of
Okay.
deal.
Yep.
And they had great deals. Plus, you could stack it with an employee discount and coupons. So I would get a box of 30 for like $5, $7, and then just keep on flipping it up until Friday would be whatever's left over, and then I would do deals and things like that. So then the
Okay.
Candyman just originated then.
Gotcha. So you weren't actually eating the candy, you were using it to make money. It was you were hustling on the side.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you just see wads of cash, but instead of it being drugs, oh, freaking A. I'm on my patio and the dogs constantly bark. Sorry about that.
No
But
worries.
instead of eating the stuff, I would just sell it and then just have big wads of cash instead of selling drugs like the other people were doing, things like that. I was just selling candy the legal way. But there's always someone that try to get you. And there's a guy named Mr. Larry Davis. I would never forget that man. He would try to suspend me no matter what for selling the candy. It was annoying, but we got through it though.
Man, that's kind of messed up. I mean, hey, everybody can hustle and make a little money on the side, like you said. You're not doing anything illegal. You're not selling drugs or anything. It's candy. It's a this guy
Exactly.
Larry. Has he contacted you since and apologized for being a little too tough on
No,
you?
no, I'm going to definitely probably reach out to him and say, "Hey, look, now we're making a name out the name." So it's a blessing in disguise because everyone knew I wasn't doing anything wrong in that sense. But the way the county that I live in was structured, they were promoting all fit kind of deal.
Gotcha.
So everything that was in the vending machines wasn't, how can I explain it? It wasn't like sugary and things like that. It was like alternative sugars. So by me coming around and not only stealing their profit because they could be selling the same things, but I'm just the one capitalizing on the social aspect of the classmates and just working it out.
I love it. Now, I mean, as a professional mixed martial artist now, you got to be careful about what you put into your body, what you're eating. But I mean, we all like a little snack here and there. If you did have to, only have one candy, what would it be? What would be your favorite?
I'm gonna be honest. Not people are really familiar with this candy, but it's called jujubes.
I've heard of jujubes.
Jujubes. They used to only really sell them. I I may be wrong. Don't quote me on this. It may be either a German or Canadian brand. Green box, juju, and then a little bee on it. And they were hard candies. You had to suck on it, and then it would soften up, and then you would chew it, and just it made with real fruit and everything like that. So it's not the sweetest, but it would get stuck in your teeth if you
Mm,
didn't pretty much like make it soft in that point.
gotcha.
But juju are my go to, and I haven't seen them in the stores anymore, so I'm kind of bummed out about that.
That is too bad. I'm kind of like Marshawn Lynch. I like Skittles, man. That's like my go-to.
That's my
I
second, definitely
yeah.
my second.
Okay. It's a good choice. You mentioned, the dogs in the background. I love dogs. I have one myself. I'm surprised she's not barking herself. But what is the dynamic like between? Because you're a family man. You have children, wife, right? Like what is the dynamic like at home?
I have a beautiful, gorgeous wife who supports me through thick and thin. Beautiful daughter named Dorothy, and I have a little. Well, that's not the dog you hear barking. It's not my dog. It's the neighbor's dog, but it's a little Shiba Inu mix. Chief, that's his name, and that's a little tribe here in that household. We just purchased our beautiful new home here over in Florida, so we're just living the country life now a little bit. You guess you could say. So we're out here, and it's been a blessing. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. I mean, there what other people think may have challenges or problems, they would wish to be in my shoes, and
Mm.
I'm just so blessed and fortunate to have what I have and to only receive more and just taking it as what it's worth, just being present, making sure that not only do I take it in, but also give it back as well.
Yeah, good for you, man. That's fantastic. How difficult is it to do everything that you need to do, like training wise, juggling, dad life, having the wife? I mean, it's a lot on your plate. How difficult is it to get everything in a 24-hour day period?
Honestly, brother, is when being a self like entrepreneur or things like that. If you're chasing your dreams, there are going to be challenges, right? But when you put all your eggs in one basket, like I've done, not only do you have a love for it because I'm so grateful to be chasing my dreams, I have a family that backs me up. There's so many people that count on me and believe in me to where their energies uplift me. I lift my own self up because at the same time too, I'm the one that's got to go to the gym. I'm the one that's got to wake up and say, hey, look, let's get these miles in, let's get this bike run, let's get this swim or whatever obstacle, whatever training sessions I got going on. But we've mapped it out to where it just coincides with everything and it just flows with effortless grace and ease. Honestly, I love what I do, and the sponsors definitely help with that as well
Mhm.
because all I really focus on is just training, and then whenever I don't have a fight schedule, and that's me taking like 2 months off from privates and stuff like that. So I'll teach and then
Mhm.
I sell supplements and things like that. But I'm all doing that from my home. So everything's remote and technology is great because I can just do everything whatever I want, however I want it.
Yeah, yeah, you're so lucky. I mean, you see a lot of fighters that, I mean, you're in a great spot. You're 4-1 as a pro right now. You're chasing that dream. But a lot of guys that are in your spot have a full-time job on top of training. So you don't have that. You get to work from home. You get to focus more on training and being in the gym, which has got to be amazing.
I mean, and that just goes to show because I mean, I've come from a sales background, right? I sold phones, I sold roofs, solar, AC units, like, name it. I've probably dabbled in it in some way or form, and that's what this is. The fighting by me putting my hours into the gym, I'm investing in myself, yes, but I know there's a greater return, and that's what I mean by putting all the eggs in one basket. Like, there's no other option. Yeah, down the line like when I'm 40 or whatever the case may be, then there's opportunities to open up gyms, be the coach. But that's all in coincide with my passion, which is fighting in MMA. And if I could just devote my hours that I know I'm valued at, let's say even $30 an hour, $30 an hour is solid.
Mhm.
So if I could make, let's say, $30 in a 9 hour period in that day, I'm doing pretty straight.
Mhm.
So why can't it be hundreds? Why can't it be thousands in those hours? And the people that are working full-time jobs, if they just switch that perspective of like, well, if I know I'm busting my ass in the gym, putting this time and energy into it, why can't I get benefited off that financially? And then with that hard work goes into play in the showtime, then it's like, all right, now my work, I don't have to necessarily speak for my work because the actions show it. And
Yeah.
when the actions show it, then the things just build up, build up, build up from there.
I love it, man. What a great mindset to have. And how old are you now?
Just turned 28.
Okay, so you're still such a young guy. You have so much time ahead of you. Do you like where you're at right now in your pro career? Like where do you see yourself, 6 months, a year from now?
So, definitely in the UFC. Definitely in the UFC. I mean, as long as I'm healthy, staying active, I plan to stay active. I enjoy the sport, and I just want to keep on trucking it along until the wheels fall out. Because the little backstory, I'm not technically supposed to be doing this again. So by the grace of God, I am. And went through a situation where a buddy of mine was actually shot and murdered in front of me, but it was intended for myself. And
Wow,
things could have went differently. Things could have went south. So now with his energy and the grace of God and things like that. And I'm just blessed.
man.
Sorry, hooked up that.
No, no, I can imagine. Are you willing to talk about that at all? I mean, that had to have been. I mean, I can't imagine it would be easy to talk about the backstory about that, but that's got to be incredibly difficult. Losing a friend, if it was, especially you're saying if it was intended for you, that's really sad, man.
Wrong place, wrong time. I was in a stage where I was going out more instead of being at the gym. Really, what it comes down to, and I never stepped out prior to that. Ended up deciding to celebrate a friend's birthday, and then things just went south. Went to a different house party, and then one thing led to another, and ended up being like an altercation that went down, and then a gunshot went off. Whether it was to defuse the fight, I think not, because it was directed in the same like vicinity where the fight was going on, and my buddy was in the crossfire. We took him. This is me summing it up.
Yeah.
my brother and I had to take him to the hospital, um, like drive him straight, like before even the cops came and things like that. So because I knew it was around the corner, I knew the area, so we loaded up in my car. You see the eyes rolling back as we load him up on the stretcher, and
Mm.
then next morning, yeah, he was pronounced dead.
Did
So
they catch the guy who did it?
yeah, yeah. So I
Man.
mean, things happen for a reason. Angels are sent in different forms. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was a
No,
bigger message to keep pursuing, being consistent with my dream, and not deal with the bullshit, not be a part of that bullshit
yeah.
and stuff like that. So sorry.
Yeah, no, man. I look, I can't say I can completely 100% relate, but about 10 years ago, my best friend accidentally overdosed. He had a bad car accident and had some head trauma and some issues, and he got hooked on pain meds and was combining it with alcohol. And one morning he didn't wake up, and
Sorry.
that was something that took me a long time to process and get through. So I'm sorry for everything that you've been through, and it seems like it's just made you a stronger, more motivated individual to be where you're at now. Is that accurate to say?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And it's a fun journey as well. Like, yeah, it's motivated me and prepared me and things like that. But I'd rather be living this life than
Yeah.
be on, like, because if I had a gun, things could have went differently. You know what I mean? And in the state of Florida, you can't carry like that. So I was just we were just caught lacking one time, but that day forward, I swore to myself I would never get caught slipping again, and I would never be caught unprepared in circumstances and things like that. So it not only motivated me to get back on my stuff, but at the same token too, just have a bigger purpose to make sure I'm always on point with everything.
Yeah, man. No doubt. And you're in Florida. Are you in the Tampa area? Is that where you're at?
Right.
Okay. So I'm from New England, huge Patriots fan, Tom Brady. So I flew down to see the Bucks play twice when Brady was there. Do you ever go to any games at all or?
Unfortunately, no. I was offered a couple of times, but usually when like we train on the weekends, so usually there's training going on. So when that happens, I'm just like, hey, maybe next time. But unfortunately, I got a fight coming up.
Gotcha. Understood. Priorities first, man. So you said, UFC is where you want to be. The sport of mixed martial arts just keeps growing and getting more and more popular. A lot of fighters are finding a lot of success with, Bellator, PFL. Is that something that you think about, or are you just dialed in on the UFC? I know that's the top dog, but you can also make a lot of money if you get your foot in somewhere else first before eventually getting there. Just tell me your thought process about all that.
Definitely UFC. We're gun hunting for UFC, and then I'm not taking anything away from. I mean, but you even mentioned yourself, they are the top dog.
Mhm.
When God forbid if anything were to happen, injuries or something like that. But I'm a former UFC fighter. I'm looking to do business with you.
Mhm.
I'm a former Bellator fighter. Bellator, PFL. I've heard of them, but you know what I mean? There's a
Mhm.
different stature, there's different
Sure.
stat with the UFC and the prestigiousness to where we're going for the best of the best. And at the end of the day, if I can go into the wheels fall off, I want to say I want to be one of the greatest flyweights in the UFC division, if not the best. That's the goal.
When you look at the flyweights that are in the UFC right now, I mean, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. It's wild to think that a few years back, Dana White was considering getting rid of the flyweight division, which is absolutely bananas. Big fight this weekend, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval. How do you see that fight playing out?
Oh man, that's gonna be a solid one. Um, I'm a fan of both. I like them. I like them. I respect them. I think Moreno takes it though. I think Moreno takes it.
He's such a well-rounded guy. Are you a big flyweight? What do you walk around at?
What do I walk around at?
Yeah.
Ooh, is it? I'm not sure. Reveal that. I'm a pretty solid. I'm 5'9", and I walk around pretty hefty. I'll say that. And then when it comes to camp time, I'm usually solid. Like I maintain a good weight. I maintain good weight. What I guess what would be considered like a hefty size for 125?
I mean, I would have to say, especially nowadays, it seems like everyone is cutting at least 20 pounds, right? Like to fight at a weight class, smaller than what you walk around at. So I mean, I would guess maybe you're walking around at 150, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. That's safe to say. That's safe to say for
Okay.
sure.
Fair enough,
Because
man.
I've been this way since high school. So with the muscles, everything that's packed on,
Yep.
now it's just like filling out more so. And then now I got this down to a science, and the diet, everything's on point to where we can lose that good amount of weight in a short amount of time and be ready at all times.
Tell me what it's like being repped by Jason House and Iridium Sports.
They've been nothing but a big blessing to me, my family, and things like that. Anything I need, he's always at his phone fingertips, getting back to me. I think he might be showing out to the fight March 8th because I know the Miami event is down there. If not, then we're definitely going to see each other afterwards, or whatever the case may be, because I know he has a stacked schedule. But him and his team have been nothing but great to me, and we're just extremely fortunate to be able to be put up in certain interviews and things like that, places to where it does pay to know people. And he definitely is well connected. I've been head up by multiple agencies, and as soon as he hit me up, I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
snap! Oh snap!" Jason has recognized, and I know he sees good things, and he's very successful in his career. So it goes to show that not only am I putting in the good energy, good work that he wants to align with, the team wants to align with as well. It just all circles back to what a journey has been so far, and the purpose is going to keep on growing and growing.
Yeah, man, things are going well for you, bud. How has camp been thus far? And tell me a little bit about who the main training partners have been to get you ready for Jimmy.
I mean, so we're still rocking with Def War over here in Tampa. I mean, we've been cross training over at Clearwater, St. P, and things like that, different gyms, and even Fort Myers. So we're getting different mixes of looks because I'm a southpaw. My teammate who's fighting on the same card, he's an orthodox. So yeah, it's a good look for me, but he's fighting an orthodox as well. So we gotta give him different looks. And I switch my stance here and there, but I'm primarily southpaw. So we've been just getting different looks from everyone on the team and things like that, from the amateurs to some of the pros, and just getting ready in all aspects. Because if I can go anywhere, and I just want to make sure I'm dialed in, ready on all aspects. Staying, like I said, never slacking again.
Hmm. And as a pro, man, it seems like you've been homegrown with CFFC. What is it like fighting for this promotion?
Oh, it's been a blessing ever since Coach Daniel aligned us with CFFC. Some of my former teammates prior fought on there, and they had great success. And I'm just grateful that not only are they giving us a good exposure for the flyweights, even because I mean a good amount of flyweights are fighting, and now it's getting some recognition at the regional scenes and things like that. So Rob, Aries, Jason, all of them over there at CFFC. Like I'm truly grateful for the opportunity. Of course, it's a business, so
Mm.
I got to show out as well, and it's just it's just all great.
Your opponent has 5 professional fights, just like yourself. What do you know about him? What do you think you're going to see come fight night?
Come fight night, I mean, short, stocky guy. I definitely see some holes and things of that nature that I plan on capitalizing on. And then if new opportunities approach, I'm just going to fight my fight. At the end of the day, it's my fight to fight. So we have those things in the back of the mind, but at the same token, too, I'm going there guns blazing like Tommy Cruise and Jack Reacher, if you know what I mean. So we're going in calculated, smart, precise, fast, hard, ready for anything, and then just bring out some of the roots, if that makes sense. Go back to my roots in that sense, with my wrestling, with my
Yeah.
grappling experience and things like that, and then mix it up on the feet and just be ready in all aspects.
So this isn't a fight where you feel like you need to keep it in one aspect of MMA. You want to mix things up and really make him guess in there.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's what it's all about. I mean, I know I could chain things better. I know I'm very on point with my scrambles, my transitions, and stuff like that. I truly believe in that. And if I can keep the opponent guessing, it's going to overwhelm them.
Where is he most dangerous?
I mean, he has some pop to his punches. I see him has a couple finishes and whatnot, out of Oklahoma and things like that. So I would say I mean, he's got some little husky legs too, so he's probably fast. Has some pop behind him, and you haven't really seen too much of his grappling side, but that doesn't mean that he can't be discredited either.
Mhm.
So just as long as he's been training, I'm sure he's mixing in the grappling and things like that. So it's all gonna come out come showtime, and I think his ideal aspect is striking, but at the same token too, I'm gonna be ready for anything.
Official prediction. How does this fight end?
Finish.
All right, man. Max, great interviewing you here for the first time. One last thing before we do get out of here. For anyone that isn't local, like myself, if you can't be there in person, where can you watch online? I'm sure there's a stream someplace that you can watch it.
So it'll be on the UFC app, UFC Fight Pass. It'll be UFC CFFC 130 over in Tampa, March 8th.
Wonderful, my man. Well, best of skill come fight night again. Like you said, March the 8th. The Candyman, Max Quinones, will be back in action against Jimi Natividad. Pleasure interviewing you again, man. Great interview. Hopefully, we can do it again soon. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. Anyone you want to thank, anything you want to plug, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all glory to God, for He's my Lord and Savior. My beautiful family, my wife, my daughter, this amount of support I get from my family, friends, and things like that. My team, Death War, Tampa. You know how we're rocking. We're going to show out, show up, and be ready to fight. To all my sponsors, my main ones, you talk about Bartow Ford over here in Bartow, Florida, Angry Elephant Tattoo Smoke Shop, D Barber with a nice trademark. We don't got it yet, but it's coming, and we got some new things lining up with that. DSG Site Surveys, Cybersecurity Systems, TastyTrees.co, PNG as well. Just the extra science for rehabbing me as well. So just all the sponsors, I really truly appreciate you guys. Black Label Moving Company, Elite Financial, thank you for all your support and for helping throughout this camp.